welcome to Afternoon Chat. I'm your host, Ghost Mostly. And welcome to week 4 of Afternoon Chat. Not too much happened over the weekend that we don't already know about, other than the fact that my Lions won big time, 52-21 over the Chicago Bears. A well-deserved beatdown for anyone that follows the Lions knows what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm pretty stoked. They got it together and they played real good. Now, I'm still working on lighting issues, and as you can see, today's not perfect. We'll get there eventually. It has been brought to my attention that I need these likes and subscribe thingies so that I guess it helps YouTube with their algorithm to sort out the show. That being said, I'm not here to sell you anything. No, no commercials, no merch, no nothing. Okay. It's just an open chat room so that everyone gets a chance to say what they want to say. No specific subjects. The only real rule here is to please follow YouTube's community guidelines. Don't get me in trouble with YouTube. I'll get into enough trouble all on my own. It's a process, and I've started it, and I've taken care of the mechanical issues that I had, the hardware issues. They're all behind us now. I'm working on this lighting. I know I went back to not putting any color in the background, but I'll get it there eventually. It's just a process, make an adjustment, and then run the show, see how it looks, see what's going on. I'll figure it out eventually. Well, when I started this project, I just wanted to create a chat stream so that people can, speak their mind. I don't want to talk about any one particular subject. It's whatever you guys want to talk about. Works for me. In order to chat, you need to use your phone, a laptop, or a tablet, something like that, and go to YouTube and download their Discord app. Once you have the Discord app, all you got to do is activate the chat, and then you can type in whatever you want. I would appreciate it if we kept it clean. I'd like to, do this like at a G rating. If it has to go to an R, it has to go to an R. I understand that. I'm aware that there might be children watching in the room or something. And I also wanted to remind our viewers that this is broadcast around the world. Last week I had people in the chat room that were from London, England, and also the United Kingdom. Very exciting for me. I enjoy it. Throughout most of my adult life, I lived and worked in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I was in the table games industry, and I grew accustomed to meeting people from all over the planet, and I enjoyed it. And in my semi-retirement, I've grown to miss it. So hopefully, with this chat room, it'll come back, and we'll get viewers in. And well, it's going to take YouTube a while. They've got to process and analyze what's going on. Once they figure out that we want to talk to people with this channel, they'll put us in front of the people we need to be in front of. It's a process. I'm figuring we'll probably be a full month into it before the chat really starts to populate. But it will happen eventually. I told myself, I gave myself 3 years to build a chat community when I started this project, and we'll get there eventually. I'm not going to give up on it. The main thing to remember is that the only thing you can do wrong is not have a good time. Everything else we can fix. At least my hair's not red today. That's the plus on the lighting issue. I turned down the light on this side and turned up the light on that side, and it does not show at all. I'm probably going to have to do some type of diffused lighting. We'll get there sooner or later. So what's going on with you guys today? Where are you at? What do you got on your mind? That's what I want to know. I'm in Michigan. I don't have the fast-paced life I used to have in Vegas, okay? Semi-retired is what I call myself. I am looking forward to getting a chance to talk to people from around the globe without having to take their money. I have not activated the Patreon page, so don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about supporting the channel yet. Wait until we have something to support. You know what I mean? Eventually, we'll get there. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. I don't recommend that for anyone. Well, it cuts down on my pot smoking. And I don't recommend smoking pot to anyone either. It is legal here where I live, okay? So I'm not trying to encourage anyone to break any laws or anything. As to what I was referring to with the football game is it was all going nice and smooth, and the Lions were winning, and then somebody took a cheap shot at Aiden Hutchinson, who is on the come from having a severely broken leg last year. And they did a chop block on him and went low. And at that point, the Lions got downright serious, and that's why they ran up the score, in my opinion. They wanted to beat the head coach of Chicago, okay, Ben Johnson. They wanted to beat him, okay. He shouldn't have, when he left the Lions, he should not have taken a job with a team in our division. That was his first mistake. And they wanted to put a whooping on him, I'm sure, because of that. But when the cheap shot came in on Aiden Hutchinson, you could tell from the look on the players' faces, they were all done messing around. And that's why they got a 50 burger laid on them. Okay. You don't have to take a cheap shot just because you're losing. That's very unprofessional. And in the cleanup time and the end of the game, I think Detroit showed great restraint. Okay. Their final possession, they weren't throwing the ball down the field trying to run up the score any more than they already had. They just, put Craig Reynolds in and ran the ball straight at him, just to get the clock moving. Yeah, that was nothing, facetious about it as far as I was concerned. But the difference between a 40-point win and a 50-point win was because of the cheap shot on Aiden Hutchinson. I believe, anyways. That's one man's opinion sitting on his couch. Okay, I'm not a sports guru or even an aficionado. I'm just a fan. Okay. I have my opinions and I'll voice them from time to time. I voiced some on the gun violence that we have here in America last week. It's getting out of hand. People they're going overboard. Okay. They're not, they're bypassing rational thought for an emotional response that is, well, number one, illegal, but number two, immoral. I understand that it's human nature to lash out at others, but to take up arms against someone that is not it's not self-defense. If a guy's breaking down the front door of your home, okay, that's self-defense. But to go after a political activist and basically ruin the lives of countless people. The young man that did this did not think it through. Okay. If you want to voice your opinion against a political activist, that's what you do, is you voice your opinion. You don't pull out a gun. Now, I'm a staunch I guess I like owning guns. I don't own guns anymore, but I did when I was younger. I gave up shooting and hunting when my vision went and I had to add glasses. All of a sudden, I wasn't a crack shot anymore, so I lost interest in the sport. But I believe in our right to own guns. I believe in the right to possess firearms. I just don't believe anyone has the right to use them against others. Okay? If it's self-defense, that's self-defense. But I don't think you have a right to lash out with a weapon. Those are my morals. I can only speak on my morals and my ethics, okay? As to what other people do, I would prefer that they have a conversation, which is why that I've created this chat room. Let's have a conversation. If you are in the chat room and you feel a need to lash out, please lash out at me. leave the people in the chat room alone. I got a pretty thick skin. I can take it. But I'm going to try to protect the people in the chat. I believe they all have a right to voice their opinion. I don't want to put a thumb on the scale and say, oh, this has to be a political show, or this has to be a sports show, or this has to be a cooking show. I want the chat to be able to talk about any topic and all topics that they want to discuss. But from my vantage point, from my perspective, from where I'm sitting on my end of the couch here, I feel like I'm inviting the world into my living room to have a conversation. And I hope that we can keep it civil, keep it respectful. If you're having trouble coming up with the words to express yourself, take your time, gather your thoughts. Okay. We're not in a rush. I've created the show Afternoon Chat. It will be here Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now that our mechanical issues are behind us, we don't have any connectivity issues. We're not going to get booted offline. We're going to become dependable, become reliable. And you'll be able to get on and voice your opinions about anything you want to talk about. I was talking to a guy last week about gardening. I know nothing about gardening. I know about eating. I can eat what comes out of the garden. I can do that real well. But I don't have a green thumb. I'm not good at growing. I don't know why. Probably because I never paid any real attention to it. Well, you know, you learn and you get good at the things that you focus your attention on. I'm drinking my Gatorade. I need electrolytes every day, so I'm drinking a Gatorade every day. This is fruit punch. It's got electrolytes in it. You know, the older you get, the more you listen to your doctor. What can I tell you? I'm trying to listen to the doctor, you know, but it's, you know, it's pretty much an oxymoron when I'm smoking at the same time. So, you know, well, I got rid of all my other vices, right? I don't drink excessively anymore. I don't do hard drugs anymore. I'm, you know, from the standpoint of my life, I'm finally being a good boy. Okay. It took me a few years to figure it out, but I'm finally trying to do some of the right things, or most of the right things, or at the very least, make better decisions, better choices. Yeah, I'm not sure what else I want to do with this Ghost Mostly Media that I created. I've had some thoughts, but basically, I'm open to suggestions. I'm not sure what I want to do. It's part of exploring new avenues. I can't make up my mind and make snap decisions when I don't have all the facts. I have to be patient and take in the facts, and then I'll make my decision as to what I want to do. I know enough about me that I know that I don't want to sit around and edit videos all day, every day. I see, millions, literally millions of people doing that on YouTube. I have no interest in competing with the millions of people out there that are doing the videos. I'm sure that they're better at it than I am. So, why run a race that you know you're going to lose, right? I could shoot videos and sit around and I don't know, get some editing software and toil and trouble over that for hours every day. I see a lot of creators that do that. The main guy I watch on YouTube is Tom Grassi, and he spends his time filming, editing, writing, directing. He's working too hard. Not for him. I mean, he's doing fine for him, but he's working harder than I want to work. I'm not going to do all that stuff. I could hire somebody to do all that stuff, but I have no interest in doing that myself. So I'm not quite sure what all I'm going to do with the channel. For right now, I think I've bit off plenty. I used to chat back in the day, and I enjoyed it. I used to get into open chat rooms and on my laptop, and I enjoyed it. I got busy and stopped chatting, and then after I retired, I came back, and what I see, on the other platforms is not attractive. I won't be on X or Snapchat or any of the others. This is the only platform I care to broadcast on. I like YouTube. I think they give you a fair shot at a low price. Okay. But I can't get all involved with 7 different platforms, and there again, you end up spending most of your day working on that stuff. And to be honest with you, I'd rather go for a walk in the park. That's just me. I'm not recommending my choices for anyone else. And I think I look a little pasty this week, a little more pale. So I've messed up the lighting even more. I'll figure it out. It's just going to take me a while because I'm in no real hurry. I hope the sound is okay. I haven't checked it. I guess I will this evening. Well, I guess I could see if there's any. Yeah, I can create a loop, so it's working. But if I need to turn up the volume or something like that, you'll have to let me know. I believe that it's all functioning properly. I worked on this stuff for 3 straight weeks now. We're functional. Hopefully, people will start jumping in the chat at some point this week. Well, the YouTube algorithm doesn't know who to advertise us to, who to put us in the recommended category for. They've got to sort that out, and it's going to take them a while. I don't think it's a person that's doing it. I think it's, basically AI or, some version of that. I'm not AI. I'm a real guy. Okay. Just one guy sitting in his living room wanting to have a conversation with the world. What's not normal about that? I'm actually looking forward to this because I'm winging it because I don't really know what I'm doing. So sometimes the best projects, you got to muddle your way through in order to get where you're going. I don't know why I chose to do a chat room per se. Originally, I was using the Ghost Mostly alias when I was ghost writing music lyrics for a band. And after doing that for a few years, I realized that by being a ghostwriter, I had no control. So none of my songs that I helped to write were ever recorded or released. So it was pretty much a waste of time. I didn't know it at the time, but I assumed that they would get recorded. I assumed that they would get released, and I assumed they would be big hits. A lot of assumption, and reality check is if you're ghost writing something, you don't have any control over what you wrote. So then initially I was looking at this and I was thinking about writing lyrics online for public domain. I looked around and I saw a couple of guys that were doing some songwriting and such, but they weren't doing it for public domain. They were doing it for their own label or their own music. I was thinking if I did it for public domain, then people could use those lyrics in their songs, and someday I might get to hear them on the radio, which would be exciting for me. Because of all the lyrics that I've ever written, none of them have ever been recorded. None of them have ever been released. I got paid for writing, but it's not like I wanted them to put my name on anything and I could get residuals or any of that. I wasn't in it for the money. I was, in it for the fun of writing. And I'm smoking, but I'm not smoking fast enough to keep it lit. Who pays attention to me? Excuse me. I don't have a soundboard with a mute button or any of that crap. Well, I don't know. There might be one here on YouTube, but I learned last week to quit hitting buttons willy-nilly on this YouTube studio. I did that the first couple of weeks, and screwed the show all up. So I'm trying to control myself and not start clicking on crap, you know. Well, the only way I learned what I was doing was by watching YouTube videos. And when you get on there, they're clicking on crap. So I tried it. Didn't work for me. I would click on something and then couldn't get back to where I was when I began. So, yeah. No, I don't have a producer. I don't have a makeup artist or production staff or even an assistant. I got a friend. I call her Crumbelina. She looks at what I do and she laughs at me a lot. So that, you know, eventually she's gonna get some type of set decoration behind me here or something. But I don't know. I was thinking I could just put something interesting that I liked back there. You know, I I was thinking of the Lions logo, but they they might be able to sue me for that. So I don't want to take a chance. You know what I mean? Well, you can't put anybody else's artwork up. You can't put their music on. You can't do anything with anybody else's stuff. You know. So what you get is my living room, my end of the couch. If you were to come visit me, you would have to sit over here on that side. Yeah, I'm just a guy, and I'm not running out and renting a sound studio or anything like that. You know, I'm very I'm very bothered by the reflection of my laptop in my glasses. I wish that it wasn't there, but without the glasses, I wouldn't be able to read the chat. Oh, I like the look of the glasses fine. I just don't like the glare coming off of them that stops you from looking me in the eye. Well, I'm working on that. I'm actually sitting up higher than I was for the last 3 weeks. I made about a 2 inch adjustment, about 2 inches. I can I can shift the laptop a little bit and adjust it a little, but you know, for the most part, I'm centered. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm considering a wardrobe change. You know, dressing and wearing a shirt that's got some actual color to it, other than the black and white that you see here on both sides of me. The couch is black and the wall is white. I'll keep working on it. You know, we'll see. I do own some shirts. I just I wore a suit and tie for many years, and I'm not going to require that of myself. I don't want I don't want to be a billboard. I don't want to wear signs or buttons or logos or anything. So I wear a jeans and a t-shirt. You know, I have two different color t-shirts. I have black and gray. I know I'm just a simple guy. Okay. We'll figure it all out eventually. But I'm not going to run out and spend a couple of grand on a wardrobe so that I can be on TV. I'm not trying to be famous. I want the famous part to be the people in the chat. I want to be like a ghost. I'm kind of like not here, really. I'm almost invisible. Well, I plan on reading the chats as they come up and commenting if I know what I'm talking about, but not commenting when I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to, I don't know. No, I don't need 15 minutes of fame. No, all I really need are people to come in and then have conversations. I haven't really looked at the YouTube membership thingy. You know, I saw it once, maybe 3 months ago, 4 months ago. You know, but I'll uh, I'll delve into that stuff later. Down the road. It's just like I created the Patreon page, but I never activated it. I'll get to it eventually. You know. So if someone wants to support the channel, they can. But I'm like I said, I'm not here to sell you guys anything. I'm not hustling you. I hope that YouTube figures out where we need to be in their recommended category. Right now, I don't know how this stuff works. As far as I know, YouTube's a professional outfit. They'll figure this crap out eventually because it'd be to their advantage to populate the channel and keep the channel running. While I'm not going to put commercials on this, the live stream will be posted on YouTube in their archive. I've got I don't know, 15, 16 different postings up there now. I have not looked at the analytics on them. I don't know, I don't know what the age group of the audience is going to end up being. I don't know, the demographics, where they're going to come from or what. There's not enough people in the chat to make the analytics viable to me. We'll see. I know that we are getting a few views. Some people are watching, some people are in, but I know that I think I need 1,000 subscribers, and I think I have 5. Okay. It's a slow start, but it's a start. We're moving forward. I don't know what to do about the whole like business. I know that YouTube wants it, so but I'm figuring that the people that are watching are going to do what they're supposed to do. All I got to do is what I'm supposed to do. And I'm not going to get on here every day and hound people once every 15 minutes for liking and subscribing to the channel. And I'm not going to hustle memberships or any of that. I'm not trying to control and manipulate people. doesn't interest me in the least. The things on my mind right now are there are more global issues than local. You know what I mean? Like last week, it hit local with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But this week, the main thing on my mind is this military buildup in Poland. Um, when I was talking to the guy from England last week, he was telling me that alerts were going off on his phone. And it was evening there, and he was trying to wind down so he could go get some sleep. And the alerts were going off on his phone, stressing him out. And that's what's on my mind this week. I hope his alerts aren't still coming in, and I hope he's, got some peace of mind. But yeah, these people are living under the threat of war, and there's no reason for it. Russia couldn't afford to own Poland. Okay, they couldn't, right? They have no business even posturing. Uh, it's not necessary. Uh, Russia needs to get the hell out of Ukraine. Okay, they have set up their economy so it's all based on the war and how many missiles they can make and whatnot. And it's just bunk. They could be having a normal economy without having to do all that. I don't understand why they don't want to do business with the world. But, same thing with Donald Trump. I don't know why he doesn't want to do business with the world. His America First agenda appears to me to be stupid. Okay. His whole tariff policy appears to be asinine, you ask me. All I know is my prices went up. Specifically, my coffee. I'm assuming it comes from Brazil, and a can of coffee went from costing me $12 to costing me $16. Thanks, Don. Yeah, it's absurd. He's making me pay more for buying things that come from other countries. That's a tax, if you ask me. That's what a tariff is it's a hidden tax on the consumer. But it's businesses that are bribing the politicians to do this crap. Okay? Because they want to be able to sell more American items in these foreign countries. So because they're greedy, they're messing with something that they don't need to mess with. He's all upset about a trade imbalance. A trade imbalance it's not a big deal. It's not a deficit. We're not running up a debt. So they sell us 10 billion worth of stuff and we sell them 1 billion worth of stuff. Big deal. Who cares? Well, the manufacturers or the growers or the corporations in America want to be able to sell $10 billion worth of goods to that country. What do I care? So go advertise your crap, lobby their politicians, right? But instead, they're choosing to tax us to make us pay more. Screw them. I got fed up with corporations when I was working for them. All right. I saw the shady shit that they do. It's not cool. You know, when I was in the corporate world, I used to tell them point blank, the higher up I get, the closer to the door I get. The more stupid stuff I see you people do, the more it pisses me off. Okay. They want their profits to go up every year. They demand that their profits go up every year, but they don't raise their workers' wages. If you're making more, why ain't I making more if I'm working for you? Oh, because you want to give me the shaft. Oh, thanks. Yeah. That's reserving a warm place in my heart for your corporation, you bonehead. The biggest example I ever raised to management was their priced on availability strategy. Right? They got a hotel room they want to rent out on a Tuesday for $60 a night. But if that Tuesday happens to be New Year's Eve, they want $600 a night for the exact same room. They didn't even put an extra mint on the pillow. If that's how you're going to treat your customer base is not going to stay loyal. They're going to drop you at the first chance they get. It does not make any long-term business sense. If I spend the money to market you and to bring you into my workplace, right, I should keep you there for as long as I possibly can. Not rape you, not pull your wallet out of your pocket and take what I want from it and then give it back. You're not going to show me any loyalty when I treat you like that. Your gas station's a prime example. Do you show them any loyalty based on anything other than price? No. If you got a Marathon on one corner and BP on the other corner, you're going to go to the one that's cheapest, right? Now, they don't want the loyalty. They want to take your money now. It's like, why do you need to do the same marketing over and over and over and over, year after year after year? Do the marketing once, keep the player, keep the customer. Seems pretty simple to me. You know, if you and I are going to breakfast every Tuesday, why would I want to stick you with the bill? Eventually, you're going to get tired of paying my bill, right? Eventually, you're not going to want to have breakfast with me on Tuesday. Duh. Yeah. Corporate America seems to make a lot of mistakes. It's like the ones that are bribing our politicians to get them to throw out illegal aliens that haven't broken the law, that haven't done anything criminal. They're not a murderer. They're not a thief. They're just simply trying to make a living. It makes no sense. You throw the worker out, and then what happens? You don't have enough employees. Who's going to harvest the food if you get rid of all the Mexicans that harvest our food? Duh. Yeah, these people don't have any common sense. All they have is overwhelming greed. Okay? That's all they care about is let me take someone's money. It's stupid. Let me tell you how immigration works. Once a guy gets into this country and he gets a job and he and I are working in the same place, let's say we're in construction, and we pick up a 20-foot board. He's on one end, I'm on the other. And we're toting this board 8 hours a day. Okay. He's pulling his weight. I'm pulling my weight. A board is not dragging on the ground. It's lifted up into the air. We're working together. Right. And now you want to kick him out of the country? You can't. He's not a stranger. He's my coworker. He's my friend. Okay. Once I've worked an 8-hour shift with him, he's part of the family, bud. Who's the outlier? The outlier's the ICE agent trying to take him out of the fucking workplace. Excuse my language. I apologize. But leave the man alone. He's working a job. I don't understand where they're coming from. They want to roust somebody's daycare worker or a maid in the hotel, or leave these people alone. Once we've worked with them, once we've sat down and shared a meal with them, we broke bread together, they're not a criminal. Leave them alone. This is supposed to be America. If I don't break the law, you're supposed to leave me alone. Ignore what I do. Right? But no, these people want to, they want to all put their thumb on the scale and lash out at one another. You know, it's absurd. I guarantee you, I can guarantee you, if a natural disaster hits and you're standing in 4 foot of water and a guy with a boat comes along and offers you a hand to get you out of that 4 foot of flood water, you're not going to ask his religion. You're not going to ask his race. You're not going to ask what country he's from. You're not going to care as long as you get out of the water. None of that crap matters. Doesn't matter if he's a Democrat or a Republican. What matters is that you get pulled out of the water and you get taken to safety. Now reverse the roles. You're the guy in the boat. And you see him and he can't tread water any longer. You're the only boat around. Are you going to cruise past him or are you going to go help him out? You're going to go help him out. Why? Because you're an American? Because you're a Democrat? Because you're a Republican? No, you're going to help him out because it's the right thing to do. This whole prejudice thing is all bunk, and I'm fed up with it. All right. These people are lashing out at somebody because they're feeling safe. I can lash out at you because you can't touch me. That's absurd. You just saw last week Charlie Kirk got touched. Yeah. No, these people, that I don't know what they're thinking. It makes no sense to me. I don't care who my neighbor is. I respect him. I'm not going to go mess with his property. I'm not going to look over the fence at something that I can pick on him about. I'm going to leave him alone. It's people are absurd. They got nothing to do. So they're sitting around saying, oh, I'll sit around and nitpick and judge everybody else. Leave people alone. Now they're trying to infringe on our constitutional rights. Guy gets hauled off by ICE and detained for 12 hours because he had the wrong color skin. Yeah, didn't we get through this in the 60s? Didn't we pass a law saying leave the man alone? He's entitled? It's the same thing with the gun owners. These gun owners that don't want their guns taken away, they don't want their guns regulated, they don't want people picking on them. What our society's doing now to the transgender community is a crime. Leave them people alone. I don't care if it's a man wearing a dress or a man holding a gun. Leave him alone. I'm sorry. I'm getting myself wound up. I can do that from time to time. It's not your place to judge him. It's not your job. Leave everybody else alone. Let them do what they want to do. If all these people are doing it, it must be normal human behavior. I tried to write a book about that. I tried to, it's a funny story. A sad story, but a funny story just the same. I got this idea. I'll write a book called Understanding Us. I had the title. I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect, And my simple explanation was if everybody's doing it, it's normal human behavior. My classic example was a guy goes to Vegas and allots himself $500 to gamble, but then gambles $700. He went over his limit. Well, he's going to go home and he's going to beat himself up and chastise himself and he's going to feel bad. If everybody's doing it, it's normal human behavior. Forgive yourself and move on. Right? If everybody's doing it, it's normal human behavior. So in my research for this, I come across war. Yeah, of all things. If everybody's doing it, it must be normal human behavior. Now, war does not fit into abnormal human behavior. It fits into the normal category. Yes, there are abnormal behaviors that come out in wartime. Right? Don't confuse the issue here. War is normal human behavior. It is normal for humans to lash out against one another. But in a mature, civilized society, we don't throw that punch. We don't raise a gun. right? The child lashes out of control, not the mature adult, right? So I stopped writing that book because I couldn't figure out how do I present this without being pro-war. I mean, it's sad. War is normal human behavior, according to my research. And I think that is really sad. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not wanting to lash out at anybody other than the fact that I'm wanting to voice my opinion that some things are just morally wrong. Okay. War is morally wrong. I am anti-war. Okay. Doesn't mean that wars aren't necessary sometimes. It's a double-edged sword. When you're lashing out at somebody else, you're telling them it's okay for them to lash out at you. If you're telling people it's okay to lash out at you, you're going to get hurt. So why lash out at others to begin with? Leave them alone. Let them, excuse me, let them do what they want. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of things that people get bothered by that just don't matter. And there's a lot of stress in this world, and people are stressing out to the point where they feel they must lash out. And you got to deal with the stress. It's killing people all over our planet. You got to forgive yourself when you make a mistake. You got to learn from it, right? But if you see someone else make a mistake, you don't run over there and stomp on them for making a mistake. You forgive them, hope that they learn their lesson, and you move on. I don't have all the answers. I don't have any. I just have a lot of questions. Okay. And the questions are, why does prejudice still exist? I'll tell you why it exists. It exists because of fear. Dislike plus uncontrolled fear equals hate. I don't hate anyone. All my fears are under control. So I don't hate anyone. If you can't control your fears, you're going to hate. That's the fear controlling you. There's no future in that. If fear is controlling you, you're going to be huddled up in the corner, unable to move. You'll go catatonic, right? You got to control your fears. If you got a fear of heights, once in a while, you might have to get on a plane and fly. You can't drive across the ocean. You've got to get a hold of that fear. You've got to control that fear in order to move forward with life. Without controlling your fear, it's all regression. You're never going to move forward. Fear is a good thing in moderation. Fear keeps you from falling off the top rung of the ladder. That fear is good. Okay. But that fear uncontrolled stops you from flying on a plane. Control the fear, you'll have a better life. You'll get more value out of your life when you control your fears. I look at some of these people, especially these politicians. It's fear run rampant with some of these guys. It's like they lost all control years ago, and they're afraid of their own shadow. It's ridiculous. Anything we do as human beings in moderation is going to be okay. But when it gets to the extreme, it's not going to be okay. If you want to sit down and have a beer after work, it's going to be okay. But if you want to sit down and have 100 beers after work, guess what? You're not in moderation anymore. Now you've gone to the extreme. It's not going to be okay. It's going to crash and burn. If you control your fears and keep everything within moderate levels, life is going to be easy. Life is going to be smooth sailing, as they say, right? But if you can't control your fears, you're not grown up. You're not mature. You're still that child that has not learned. First time I shot a gun, I was scared. Some fear is good. But I had a great time hunting in the mountains, hunting in the woods. I'm telling you, I had a lot of fun, a lot of great experiences. Okay. Because I was able to control that fear and learn how to shoot. If you control your fears, no matter what you want to do, if you can control your fears, you can get a greater value out of life. Now, that's my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with me. But that's my personal opinion, right? I was afraid to go online and do this show. I had fears and apprehensions, but I controlled my fear and I did it anyways. That doesn't make me successful, but it does make me functional, right? You can't be afraid of life. A little bit of fear gives you respect, right? Too much fear out of control, is a negative influence on your life that you can't afford, in my opinion. That's my disclaimer. The only perspective I can see is my own. I try to see other people's perspectives as often as I can. Okay. But it's not easy. It's something you have to work at your whole life. Everything seems cut and dry when you're a kid. Oh, I like that. I dislike that. Right? As you get older, you see the gray area. Well, that has some positives and that has some negatives. Right? I like to think things through and try to make an informed decision. But I also like to recognize when I'm wrong. I enjoy recognizing when I've made a mistake because I know I can learn from it and I can do better next time. Going forward, I know I can improve. Yeah, my hair looks strange today. I probably should have brushed it more, but it's kind of flattened down a little bit. I was thinking about putting it in a ponytail and try to clean up my appearance a little bit. Um, I could shave. I don't know. It's hard to force myself to do anything nowadays. I get kind of complacent or kind of lazy, I guess. Yeah. It's like fixing that Patreon page. It would take 2 minutes. I haven't gotten to it. Why? Well, I procrastinate a little bit, you know. Normal human behavior. Everybody does it once in a while, right? Hopefully, these chat room episodes won't be all me ranting and raving. Hopefully, people will jump in the chat and straighten me out. All they got to do is show me another perspective, you know, something that I'm not seeing, you know. I have a very open mind when it comes to conversations. I like other people's opinions. I don't like other people telling me what to do, don't get me wrong, but I like hearing their opinions. And then I make my own decisions and choose my own path. That's something I've always done throughout my life. I've chose my own path. I did a lot of that while I was young. Okay. It didn't matter to me when I was young. I had a need to know level that was very, very high. Okay. This was before the internet. Don't get me wrong. Before the internet, well, I'd go to school and I'd learn about Florida, being raised in Michigan with snow, and I see Florida with palm trees, and there was no internet, so you couldn't just go to a live cam and you couldn't just look it up and see pictures of every city in Florida. You know, that stuff wasn't available. I'd come home from school and I'd ask my mom, why don't we live in Florida? Looks nice. They got a lot of beaches. Okay. She'd never been. And I'm like, I got to go to Florida. I got to go see this with my own eyes. Why don't I want to live in Florida? Well, they've got too much humidity. I know that because I've been there, right? So before the internet was invented, I spent about 5 years of my life hitchhiking around the country. I needed to see everything. My need to know level was very high. Now that the internet's been invented, do I need to go to Costa Rica? No, I can punch it up on my computer. I can learn all I want about Costa Rica. If I want to go there, I could, but I don't have to go there to learn about it, which is what it was back in the day. The only way you were going to learn about Florida was to go there and see it. I know I had to see California. I had to see Wyoming. I had to see a lot of things, right? Had to go to Canada, had to go to Mexico. Now it's totally different. You want to know what's going on in any part of the world now, you can look it up and you can just about find anything you want live. I remember back in the day, my youngest son was actually in Costa Rica, and we're talking on a satellite phone. And 20 miles off in the distance, he could see a live volcano that was erupting. So I opened up my computer, I got on there, and I pulled up the exact same volcano. I could see it too. The internet's done a marvelous thing. I was looking at live cams the other day just on YouTube, and I saw some guy's got a camera on Venice Beach. You can see what's on in Venice Beach, or look up a pool at the Hard Rock Hotel, or there's live cams all over the place that you can have access to. None of that stuff was available when I was hitchhiking around the country trying to learn and trying to see. The good part was I got to meet a lot of people, a lot of really nice people. Well, the bad part was I was basically homeless for 5 years. it, all those swords got a double edge, I'm telling you. For every bit that there's a good, there's a negative side to everything, you know. I don't recommend being homeless. It's no, I don't recommend it at all. But back in the day when you wanted to see what was going on the next state over, you had to go there. It's not like that now. Now it's much more convenient. I liked that 5 years. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it. Okay. But there were some negatives, some drawbacks. I hitchhiked. I don't recommend hitchhiking. It is not safe. It's nowhere near as safe as it was when I did it. And when I did it, it was unsafe. Okay. So, yeah, I do not recommend hitchhiking. Okay. I don't recommend a lot of the choices that I made in my life. I know you guys are probably learning way too much about me. It's all right. The chat will populate in here eventually. We'll have people to talk to, and then you won't have to listen to my boring stories. It's different being on camera like this. I had 30 years in Las Vegas, and I was always on camera. Everywhere you go in a casino in Vegas, outside of the restrooms and the guest rooms, everything is on camera. And you just get used to it. But this is different because you can hear what I'm saying, and you see my actions, you see me smoking, this kind of stuff. There's a difference to it. It's not the same as the old eye in the sky watching my actions. I don't know what's going on. I just got a warning. Hopefully, well, the stream appears to be running. We'll see what happens. It said something wasn't processing. I clicked off of it too fast to retain what it said. Oh, I don't know what it could have been. Might just be a glitch. If it pops up again, I'll try to pay attention. Okay. But what I was saying is just being on camera this way is a totally different thing than what I was doing in Vegas. Well, in Vegas, there were other people around me, and that kind of felt like being on stage, right? If you're dealing a blackjack table, you're the one that's performing. You're going through all the actions, taking and paying the winners and the losers, right? That's more like being on stage. This doesn't feel like being on stage. I'm in my living room, smoking when I want to smoke, drinking when I want to drink, or drinking what I want to drink, It's like a horse of a different color. I don't know if I'll get used to it or not. I guess it would seem more like being on stage if we had people populating the chat. Some of them get in here once in a while, but I haven't seen anyone in the chat today. If they get in the chat and then they, send a chat, I'll read it to you. The way you chat is to use your phone, your laptop, or tablet, some other device other than your TV. I guess some of the people with the newest smart TVs with all the bells and whistles might be able to chat on their TV, but I think most of us have to use an external device. I know that when I'm watching, like, I was watching TMZ Live today before this broadcast. And in order to chat with them, I have to use my computer or my phone, right? I use my laptop when I chat, generally. I like the larger screen. Okay. And I really don't chat on TMZ. I have a couple of times. They were running a contest or something to win a T-shirt, or I don't know what all it was, but mostly I just watch like a regular fan. There's a Lions Talk by Chat Sports that I watch. A guy named Mike Kimber, and I'm probably more likely to chat with him than anyone else. Okay. Well, I identify with the guy in a lot of aspects. Okay. Well, he's single. He's putting his face on YouTube on a regular basis. He's a father. uh, ex-military, um, health issues. I just identify with the man on a lot of different levels. So I'm more likely to open up and make a comment on his show and talk to him versus anyone else that I watch. I watch a show called The Enforcer to get all my global war news, but I never chat with those guys. They have live chat and they get 10,000 people in their chat room, and I never chat with them. It's a couple of young brothers. I believe they're in Alabama. They their channel's called The Enforcer, and they glean all the social media platforms, or most of the social media platforms, and collect the video evidence from the wars around the globe. And then they present that to you and they show you the video proof. Okay. That's why I watch them. It's very they run about a 3-hour show. It's very fast paced. Boom, 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 But I don't chat on there. You know what I mean? Personal preference. A lot of people do chat on there. I see them, I read them. you know when I'm watching a show that offers live chat, I always enable the chat. I want to see it. I want to see what people are talking about, what their opinions are, not just the opinions that are that the person on the screen is voicing, right? I'm very inquisitive when it comes to people. I want to know their opinion. Yeah, it's the same thing. I'm smoking a cigarette, but it won't stay lit because I'm not smoking it often enough, I guess. Yeah, I'm just learning. Cut me some slack. No, yeah, I watch most of the shows that I like to watch do have a live chat. I don't know what you guys can see when you look up my channel. I've never looked it up. Okay. I don't know if you have access to what I like, or who I follow, or anything like that. There's some live shows that I watch that I don't necessarily follow, but YouTube keeps them in my stream because I watch them often enough, I guess, that they realize, hey, he might like to see this. One of those is like Don Lemon has got his own channel, or Francesca Fiorentini, Farron Cousins, a number of people that I watch that I don't necessarily subscribe to. I know it's rude of me to watch and not subscribe and not offer up likes. And then I come on here and I'm asking you to like and I know it's an oxymoron. I'm a ghost. I want to stay invisible, And when I chat with somebody now, it doesn't come up with my name. it comes up with Ghost Mostly Media LLC. And I don't want them to think that I'm trying to advertise my show on their show. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I would be trying to do. If I was, I'd be going for the comment, not the commercial. You know, I don't know if I could switch it back to my own name or not, but to me, I'd rather just have the channel up and running smooth and not be changing a million things. I'm not trying to get myself famous, and I'm not trying to get my corporation or my company famous. Okay. No, I'm open to doing other projects with Ghost Mostly Media, but I'm not open to me doing other shows, right? Like I have 2 channels, right? I offered my pastor if he wanted to do a show, right? When I pitched it to him, I suggested he'd come on and he'd do like a 15-minute Bible story, and then open up a 45-minute chat room about the story, so he could have a discussion with the people like he does when you're in church, right? But he didn't take me up on it, at least not yet. But he's also been going through there's a lot of stuff going on with the church. But he's already on Facebook, so he might just want to stay with that one outlet and not branch out to this one. But he's the only one that I've made any offers to. I was hoping he'd come back with another suggestion or another idea, and I'd just sure go ahead, but we'll see how that comes out in the wash down the road. But I was also figuring that once this chat gets populated, people can give me ideas. What do I want to do? It's like we have a couple of local racetracks around my area here, stock car racing. And I was thinking, ain't nobody filming those and putting those on. I could do that. I had this discussion with my father the other day. We were talking about it. And he thought the local racetrack would be, nice to put on YouTube. But I don't know how I could do the audio with all the noise that's at the racetrack. It's just so loud. And I would be filming with, at best, a camera on a tripod, if not, probably just my phone. I'm just a thought, not a plan, just a thought. I don't know what I want to do, but I was hoping that people from the chat give me ideas, tell me what they want to see or what they think I should do. In the meantime, all you got is me and this afternoon chat show. I'm not going to do any others. And this show will be subject to change if the chat gets populated and they find out, and I find out that they want me on earlier in the day or later in the, I can make adjustments to give the people what they want. It's just like if they want to sit around and talk about gardening, it's okay with me. We can talk about gardening. I don't know much, but okay. I prefer to let the people in the chat be the star of the show and me just a little bit of eye candy off to the side. Okay. I don't want to force the conversation in any one direction or manipulate the people and say, oh, we have to talk about this. Like when I get onto Mike Kimber's channel, I can't talk to him about something off topic. I'm only going to have a discussion with him about the Lions, right? It's like, what I have not chatted with Mike today. I have watched him today, but I have not chatted with him today. But if I were to chat with him, I would tell him that Thanksgiving Day game that's coming up between Green Bay and Detroit has got brand new connotations on it. Okay. And I think the Lions are going to have something to prove. And I think Green Bay could be looking at a 50 burger as well. Well, number one, the Lions hate to lose on Thanksgiving Day. They literally hate it. And number two, they were embarrassed in the opening week by Green Bay. Green Bay put a whooping on them. So I expect the Lions to turn around and put a 50 burger on them on Thanksgiving Day. By that time, the offense of the Detroit Lions will be running like, they'll be leading the NFL in scoring. They're going to be tops. Defensively, I think they're going to move up the scale, and they're going to be ranked defensively. They've made changes. We got a new young man, Tyleik Williams. He's turning out right. Okay, young man is playing quite well. Yeah, that was smooth. Yeah, a little bit of Gatorade in the beard. Well, I am only human. Okay, that's how you know I'm not AI. Is you get to watch me make mistakes. Miss AI would not dump Gatorade in their beer. I'm sorry. That's just proof that I'm a real guy. No. Well, AI is overrated at this point. It's not as good as they're saying that it is. If it was, we'd all be unemployed. No, they want us to think that it's better than it is, but it's still got a long way to go, especially in these self-driving cars. If you're trusting this, you're being foolish. It might work for a split second, and then it might not. If you go online, you can look up and you can see some horrible, horrible accidents and some real asinine instances where you just to look at them, you can say, okay, this is foolish. They can't make a decision, right? If your supposed self-driving car is driving down the road and it sees two things in the lane ahead. One is a plastic bag, the other is a boy. Can it avoid the boy and hit the bag? No. It can't make that decision. It says there's something in the lane, we need to stop, but it can't say, I'll choose this one over that one. It can't. So I rest my case. It's stupid. If you've ever seen a little boy get hit by a car, you'd know what's going through my mind right now. Okay. It can't tell the difference. I saw that this is probably more than a year ago, but somebody took a small traffic cone, not the full size ones, but the little ones, and set it on the hood of a self-driving car, and the self-driving car couldn't go anywhere. It couldn't move. It's something unexpected. It's not programmed in there how to deal with this. It doesn't know. It can't make that decision. All it can do is freeze up. And it's like if you put your car on cruise control, you can't go into the back seat and take a nap. The technology isn't there. If you're using this self-driving, what are they telling you to do? Stay in your seat. You can't leave, okay? Your decisions might become a necessity in order to keep everyone alive. I don't understand why they're pushing this on us. They want self-driving taxis, I guess. I guess they're probably their goal would be to eventually get us all off the road and have it all be just computers and robots driving the vehicles. Makes no sense. All I know is they ain't there yet. It ain't safe yet. And to do it, I think you got to be crazy. Hopefully they'll get it perfected, but it's probably going to take them another 10 years. Technology makes leaps and bounds right up until all. Then it moves at a snail pace, like all science. You saw them create the vaccine, right? They did that really fast, right? But they haven't come out with any other vaccines. Why not? Because science takes time. All science takes time. You can't have a snap decision. If you do, you end up like that submersible submarine that collapsed on that guy. He took all the shortcuts. He skipped all the slow progression of science, and he jumped right to the end. And let's go see the Titanic. And then instantly that thing collapsed, and everybody that was in it became dust or slime, or there was nothing left. Science takes time. You can't rush it. Hopefully, they'll get better with uh, the self-driving stuff. Hopefully, they'll make improvements on it, but it's going to take a while. To me, I don't know why they can't do it like a slot car track. I don't know if any of you have ever used a slot car track, but the car has got a like a little rudder from a boat that sticks down and goes submerges into the track, and then it must follow, right? I think that if they did that with self-driving cars, they might be safer. But what's to stop them from driving off a cliff? Nothing. Or what happens if the computer goes down? If you're driving at 70 miles an hour and all of a sudden your computer goes down, what's going to happen? That car ain't going to instantly stop until you hit a brick wall or a tree or another car or something. Yeah. It ain't going to be pretty at any rate. Okay. Technology moves at lightning speed right up until it doesn't. And then it has to take that snail's pace and move so slow that it's ridiculous. I I like the technology. It's nice. It has its advantages, but it also has drawbacks. Well, a lot of younger children, because of the technology, because of being able to go online, they're exposed to a lot of stuff that they probably shouldn't be exposed to at that young of an age. Some of this stuff that they've got access to, they shouldn't. That's why we, got society problems, you know, like the social media atmosphere. When social media was first born, it was great. Now I consider it to be a negative. People are picking on each other, they're lashing out online. A 13, 14-year-old kid goes online and 100 people out of his school start calling him names, and now he doesn't want to go to school. You know, it's just wrong. And there's no way to police the social media. I'm not going to police this room, this chat room. I mean, I'm going to go by the community guidelines that YouTube has set up. But I don't want to stop people from voicing their opinion. So if somebody gets on here on tomorrow and wants to call me a jerk, and then comes on the day after and wants to call me a jerkwad, he's not hurting my feelings. My self-esteem's not going anywhere. Okay. It's him that's got to grow up. Okay. Not me. I haven't come up with a standard opening for the show. I haven't come up with a standard closing for the show. Generally, when we get down to the final 10 minutes like this, I like to talk to people about being kind to one another, being patient with one another, trying to be understanding, try to see things from another person's perspective or point of view. You got to give people some leeway. People make mistakes. And I think that if you put out kindness, if you show kindness to everyone all of the time, that you're going to get kindness coming back to you all of the time. Personal opinion. Okay. There's my disclaimer again. It's sad, but it's true, you know. We'll see how things go, you know. But, you know, the way it's looking, this this show is going to be slow to take off. So be patient with it. Okay. Eventually we'll get there. Nobody wanted to get in and chat today, but maybe tomorrow. We get views. Okay. When I shut down the stream, a copy is pasted onto YouTube, and people are getting in and watching. There's a few here, a few there. Eventually, it'll add up. I think I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewing hours before we can get monetized. And the rate we're going, that looks like it's going to be about this time next year. I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to do this. Okay. So I'm going to give it a fair shot, see what happens. I think that YouTube will eventually sort us out. Their algorithm will place us in front of the people that we need to be placed in front of eventually. I'm just going to be patient. I'm not cutting a bunch of shorts and trying to influence it. I believe that YouTube knows what they're doing. They'll sort it out eventually. I'm not going to worry about it. I'll get to that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 viewing hours eventually. I'm broadcasting 10 hours a week. Okay. Well, not broadcasting. I'm live streaming 10 hours a week. But, you know, some of the episodes are into double digits. They've had 10 viewers. So, you know, I'm not sure. Maybe I've set it up too long. Maybe 2 hours is too long of a time. Maybe it should just be a 1 hour show. I don't know. We'll wait until somebody gets into the chat room and tells me. Okay. I got patience. I'm sitting in my living room and I can do that every day. Okay. It's not that big a deal. Hopefully by the end of the week we'll get a few people in, but that's the way it worked last week, you know. We'll see. In the meantime, just be nice to one another. There's nothing wrong with good old fashioned disagreement. There's nothing wrong with good old fashioned dislike. Okay. Nothing wrong with those at all. It's when you lose control of your fear and you get into the hate category that it'll eat holes in you. You know, it's stress is killing people all over the planet. Easiest way to avoid distress is to accept the things that you can't change and to come on this show and talk about the things that you'd like to get changed. Have a discussion, a civil discussion, without the name calling, without lashing out. Talk to people, communicate, learn their perspective, get their point of view. The more human beings collaborate, the more successful the human beings become. History has proven that. The more we communicate, the more we collaborate, the better off we are. You can't learn without help. Well, you can't learn as fast without help. And the easiest way to get help is to talk to people. If you're too stressed out, you need counseling, go talk to people. If you're too stressed out and you can't deal with things, then you might need to self-censor. You might need to shut your local news off. You might need to control what your input is coming from. And if you need to do that, I would suggest this show. This show gives you a chance to talk about what you want to talk about and not talk about what you don't want to talk about. With all that being said, we'll wind this down for today. Thank those of you that joined us. Thank you for watching. Feel free to go to YouTube and download that Discord app and come back into the room and enter the chat and let us know what you want to talk about. Let us hear your opinion. In the meantime, I'll sign off for today and just say I appreciate y'all for watching. And we'll be on Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm Ghost Mostly, signing off, saying take care of one another, be patient with one another, and your life will have greater value. Okay? We'll see you tomorrow at 3.